In the quirky town of Sweetopia lived a clumsy but lovable character named Benny Bumble. Benny was known for his big dreams and even bigger appetite for sugary snacks. One sunny afternoon, as Benny strolled through the local market, he stumbled upon a colossal, glittering bag of sugar that seemed to call his name. It was a kind of bag that sparkled in the sunlight like treasure. Filled with excitement, Benny thought, "This sugar will make the best candy. I could make sugar cookies, cotton candy, and even marshmallow pancakes." His mind raced with sweet fantasies as he envisioned the magical creations that would emerge from this enormous bag. Now Benny, being Benny, didn't exactly have the best track record with cooking. There was that time he accidentally activated the whipped cream tornado in his kitchen, and the entire house turned into a fluffy white wonderland. Or the infamous chocolate fountain explosion of last summer, which left everyone wondering why there was a river of chocolate flowing through the park. But this time, he promised himself he would be careful. With enthusiastic determination, Benny grabbed a bag of sugar and hurried back to his home. He was like a kid with a golden ticket, skipping happily along the road while imagining how all his friends would adore his upcoming sweet masterpieces. As he reached his house, Benny plopped the gigantic bag onto the kitchen counter. It was so big it nearly toppled over the edge. He tugged at the top of the bag, but it wouldn't budge. "Come on!" he exclaimed, tugging harder this time. Little did he know, this was no ordinary bag of sugar. It was more like a legendary treasure chest waiting to be unlocked. With one last mighty yank, the bag finally gave in, but not before launching a sugary explosion. It burst open with a loud poof. White clouds billowed out like a snowstorm in July. Benny stood frozen for a moment, mouth agape, as the air filled with a sugar blizzard. The kitchen transformed into a winter wonderland of granulated sweetness. As Benny blinked through the clouds, he raised his arms dramatically and shouted, "I am Benny, the king of Sugarland." He started doing a little happy dance, twirling around and slipping and sliding on the sugar-coated floor. "Wee!" he exclaimed, letting his twirls take him into the living room where he crashed into a pile of fluffy sugar. Moments later, the doorbell rang. It was his friends from Sweetopia, drawn in by the clouds of confectionery delight wafting through the air. Curious to see what magic was afoot, they burst into the house just as Benny emerged from the sugar pile, looking like a snowman who had lost a battle with a candy factory. "Surprise!" Benny shouted, flinging his arms wide. Sugar flew into the air, raining down like a sweet snowstorm. His friends burst out laughing, doubling over as they took in the sight. "Merry Sugar Avalanche Day," Benny declared. "Join me in my sweet creation." His friends joined him in the sugary chaos, giggling and slipping around as they filled bowls with sugar, invented new bizarre recipes, and fashioned candy sculptures. Someone even suggested they make a sugar mountain, which turned into the most epic sugar fight Sweetopia had ever seen. In the end, Benny's kitchen had turned into a delightful frenzy of sugary chaos, but instead of disaster, they created something magical: laughter, memories, and, surprisingly, the sweetest cake ever made, covered in the delightful snow of sugar. From that day forth, the townsfolk of Sweetopia would often ask Benny if they could hold a sugar avalanche day every year. And even though it never quite turned out as planned, One thing was certain. Wherever there was Benny and a bag of sugar, there would be laughter, joy, and a whole lot of sweet memories. And so, Benny Bumble lived happily ever after, or at least until the next cooking experiment. Thanks for joining us for Benny's sweet adventure. If you loved this story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more fun tales. We'll see you next time.